Is your company still relying on spreadsheets or paper to manage business travel expenses? I'm Jerry Morgan, and I'd like to show you how ExpenseController can streamline your expense management process, help you implement financial controls, and improve employee compliance with company policy. With ExpenseController, your employees enter their expenses via a web browser. There's no software to install, and the system's really simple to use. Just choose the date of the expense, select the expense type and how you paid for the item, then enter the amount and save it. ExpenseController automatically distinguishes between items paid for using company funds and those paid for with employees' personal funds requiring reimbursement. ExpenseController also calculates the correct reimbursement so that your employees do not need to. Your administrator can tailor the system to your needs by creating your own expense types and payment types. If you're entering a car mileage, ExpenseController will prompt you to enter the distance travelled instead of a payment amount. ExpenseController automatically calculates the monetary amount using a mileage rate that you control. You can enter explanatory comments for each item, and your administrator can require employees to enter a mandatory comment for expense types where more information is needed. You can even set spending limits, expense type by expense type. If an employee exceeds the limit, the system makes them enter an explanatory note and flags the item for the approver and the accounting department. Employees can upload scanned receipts and associate them with the expense report. These receipts are available for the approver and your accountants to download and view. Employees can email expense items to ExpenseController while travelling, or access the system from their iPhone, BlackBerry or other handheld device. You can also allow or require employees to associate expense reports with a specific client and project. This is particularly useful for consulting organizations, law firms and other organizations who need to track project costs. If you do not need this feature, it remains hidden. Our automated workflow process passes the expense report to the correct approver. Once approved, the expense report is automatically passed to the accounting department for further scrutiny and for payment if necessary. Employees can track their expenses and see exactly where in the process each expense report is. And management can run reports that show spending trends by expense type, department or by employee. You can even report on individual line items so that you don't lose track of the details. And you can do all of this even on expense reports that have not yet completed the approval process, so that you can see in advance what you will need to pay this month. ExpenseController lets you finally take control of your expenses. ExpenseController also makes it easy for you to export to your ledger system. You can associate ledger codes with expense types and with departments. And you have complete control over which data columns to export when creating a load file for your ledger system. ExpenseController is a powerful and affordable way to control spending and improve compliance. And because your contract runs month to month, you're never locked into the system and you can cancel at any time. Your first month is free. So visit ExpenseController.com today. Sign up for your free trial and take control of your expenses.